Alright, so the two matinee games from today's Sunday action is in the books, and let's just hope this video will actually be able to process on YouTube, because when I decided to upload the review of the video that I did yesterday, where I look at all 9 games that happened in the Saturday action, and that video is actually a relatively long video. It took about 3.5 hours for me to upload, because it was like around a 68-minute long video. Well, by the time that video was uploaded and I was expected to basically be published on my YouTube channel, I got a message from YouTube saying that this video was unable to process. And honestly, not only the fact that I was incredibly angry when I saw that message, but this also means I'm gonna have to re-upload the video. And again, it took 3.5 hours for me to upload that video. And you know what I'm probably going to do now is that I'll basically upload this video of me reviewing both of these Sunday games, because this video shouldn't be a long one. When I upload it should probably take less than an hour to do so, and then after that I will be uploading, or shall I say re-uploading, the review that I did for all those Saturday games. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit weird that I upload the review of the Sunday game first before I upload the review for the Saturday game. But you know, because of YouTube decided to be an idiot today and decided to not be able to process my original video, and kind of have to force me to upload the video that did not process. That's why I'm stuck in terms of this situation. But in terms of today's game, well, there were definitely some controversy in both of these games, and we'll definitely get to the controversy. But we'll start off with this game between Inter Miami versus Atlanta United, and I know Inter Miami fans are going to be very upset of what they saw late in this game, because of a controversial call that kind of gone against them, and that they probably should have got a penalty late in this game to maybe get the lead and maybe even win this game. But of course we'll get to that in just a bit. But I thought in the first half and 5 minutes in the game, Miami was shouting for a penalty, as there was a potential handball in the box, and that they feel it was George Bello that basically handballed that one in the box. It wouldn't be the first time that they, of course, would be shouting for a penalty in the box because of a potential handball that one of the Atlanta player committed. But in the 9th minute, Joseph Martinez finally scored his first goal of the season to make it 1-0 in favor of Atlanta United. And you know, obviously that was a nice little move by Joseph Martinez to basically kind of turn around and shoot that one, and finds the bottom left corner. But you also got to question the defending there from Inter Miami, where, you know, even though I know Joseph Martinez has not looked like the Joseph Martinez of old, you know, if you give him space like that in the box area, yeah, you are definitely going to punish. And Inter Miami was punished during that situation, and just like that, Atlanta was able to get a 1-0 lead. And you hope, if you're an Atlanta United fan, this is the beginning of Joseph Martinez started to get his goal scoring form back into play. Now in the 16th minute, Brad Guzan actually fumbled the save on Pizarro header, and he is actually very fortunate at the fact that even though he kind of bobbles that ball and it was about to trickle into the back of the net, he able to just save that one over the line. Guzan today, I thought there was a couple of times he did not look comfortable of either trying to make a save and basically allow a big rebound, or the fact that when the ball was coming in and he kind of bobbles it a little bit, and also allow a juicy rebound from one of these Inter Miami players to take advantage of it. Now Guzan did make up for an almost blunder moment that he had 2 minutes later, as he would rob Gonzalo Higuain, who went through on goal. Miami was pressing for the equalizer after that, but Joseph Martinez, right near the end of the half, did have a chance to make it 2-0 and grab his second goal, but unfortunately he missed one, and we had to halftime with Atlanta leading 1-0 in favor, or 1-0 against Inter Miami in this game. But heading into the second half, 6 minutes in, Moreno did had a chance to make it 2-0 in favor of Atlanta, but his 22-yard free kick was blast high. Then Guzan was able to deny Gregor in the 54th minute before Higuain blasts it high after a WTF turnover that Atlanta basically committed. Although on that same play, there were definitely a big question whether or not if there's supposed to be a handball on Miles Robinson, because as Higuain basically blasts this one high. It seems like it might have actually hit the hand of Miles Robinson. Now, I did look on the replay a couple of times in this, and I gotta say, it was very hard to tell whether or not if that ball actually grazed the hands of Miles Robinson. And because of the fact that the original call says it was no handball and no penalty for Inter Miami, even if they go to VAR to look at that, I didn't think they had a conclusive evidence enough to overturn that one. So at the end of the day, I think that was a good call. The fact that they decided not to call a penalty, but then 3 minutes later, Guzan would once again deny Lewis Morgan, and Inter Miami, they had a lot of chances in the second half and also in the first half too, and you just wonder, are these chances that they basically were very wasteful, are they going to come back to haunt them? Well, you know what they say whenever I basically put up a big question of a team that basically are wasting their chances and it could potentially come back to haunt them. Well, you probably know what that means. Yeah, the opposite, that team that I basically asked the question of is probably going to score a goal, right? And indeed, it was once again the case here. Although, unlike yesterday, where I basically asked the question of LAFC being wasteful in front of goal, and that they immediately kind of answer, or actually no, yesterday I was kind of asking if the Galaxy can basically hold on, and then literally a minute after I wrote that, they answer that question, and they answer that question, and basically the answer is no, we cannot hold on for the last 30 minutes with our emergency defense and concede a goal against LAFC. In this instant, it was maybe about 10 minutes after I wrote this, and then Miami basically kind of saw that question that I wrote that, and they basically answered with a resounding yes. And Lewis Morgan definitely is a guy that answered a resounding yes, because he scores to tie the game up at one apiece. And for the last 10 minutes of this game, I thought there was chances for both end and that this game was really up for grabs. But then this is where the big talking point of this game happened, right near the end of regulation in this and heading into stoppage time, where there was no penalty given to Inter Miami, despite the fact that it looked like Guzan tripped Uyola in the box after spilling a shot that was coming toward his way. Again, Guzan, he just did not look comfortable in front of net and trying to basically catch those effort. And this was one that he was trying to catch, but unfortunately he spilled it. And as Uyola was trying to follow up the shot and take advantage of Guzan making a mistake there, he basically was tripped out by Guzan. And obviously, not only the fact that the 10,000 fans at that stadium was shouting for a penalty, but I think Gonzalo Perez immediately just sprint to the referee, and he was in the face at the referee, along with a couple of Inter Miami players, that they were convinced that has to be a penalty. Now, when I originally look at it, I think they definitely have a claim that it should have been a penalty, but then when I actually look at it a couple of times, and especially I actually went to Reddit, and that somebody actually show a couple of picture of why exactly this is not a penalty, I think that kind of maybe convinced why this wasn't a penalty. And the reason why that this wasn't a penalty was because you can clearly see Guzan, as he was about to bring down Uyola, he did able to get a hand toward the ball that he originally fumbled. And anytime when you're a goalkeeper and you're able to get the ball before you take down an attacker, yeah, that I don't think that, of course, is going to a penalty. Now, if Guzan actually didn't touch the ball and didn't get the ball and just bring down Uyola, then yeah, that is 100% a penalty, and we're going to see something similar to this happen in this game that I'm going to talk about in just a bit. But in this instant, as much as I know Inter Miami fans are going to be very upset about this, at the end of the day, the rule clearly states that if you're a goalkeeper and you're able to get the ball before you taking down one of the attacker, then it's not going to be a penalty. But in the end, this game ends in a 1-1 draw, and the shots in this game, 17 shots compared to 14 that Atlanta has, 7 shots on goal compared to 5 that Atlanta has, 4 shots off target compared to 7 that Atlanta has, 6 shots that was blocked compared to 2 that Atlanta has, and possession-wise, 38% possession compared to 62% possession that Atlanta United had in this game. And overall, I think Atlanta is going to be the more happier side because of the fact that not only they're able to see their main goal scorer, Joseph Martinez, seems like he's finally got that monkey off his back of getting his first goal of the season, but they're also able to to get a draw out of this game, despite the fact that Inter Miami really had more of the better chance in this game compared to Atlanta United. And for Miami, I know they're going to be frustrated about the call at the end of this game, but once again, they were very wasteful in terms of some of their chances, and this is not the first time we've seen this season where they've been wasteful in front of goal, and it basically have cost them of potentially getting all 3 points in this game. But now moving on into the next match, which is the Cascadia Derby between the Timbers and the Sounders. And, this game basically went from a game that not much really happened in the first half to where everything happened in the second half. And we'll definitely get to that crazy sequence that we saw around the 55th to the 60th minute, where really I think that crazy sequence pretty much tells the story of this game. Now, early on in this game, again, there wasn't really much chances early in this one, as both teams seems to be a little bit complacent to start out the gate. Ruidíaz did have a golden opportunity in the 10th minute, but unfortunately he missed wide from a sitter from 6 yards out. I mean, I think Ruidíaz in this game, I know he eventually did end up on the score sheet, but there was definitely a couple of times where he definitely missed some shots that I don't usually see him miss. And in some way, if he was able to take advantage of those opportunities, he probably might have got more than the one goal, or maybe even get a hat trick in this game against the Portland Timbers. Now, Mabiola did have to sub off early for Tuiloma of what looked like, I don't know why I wrote Tuiloma name again, but it's more what looked like a concussion that Mabiola unfortunately suffered, and I guess that substitution actually did not count toward the Timbers because of the new concussion substitution protocol that is in place in the league. But yeah, let's just hope Mabiola is going to be okay. But in the 16th minute, Rodin did miss wide, as I thought the Sounders were getting closer to getting their first goal of this game. But as I basically wrote that, the Timbers actually started to dominate this game and had a lot of possession, and that they were kind of also started to pin back the Sounders in this game. But unfortunately, despite the fact that they had a lot of opportunity on the ball, they weren't really able to create much going forward on the attack, and didn't really test out Stefan Fry a lot with all those possession that they had. Now, they did have a chance in the 39th minute when Abovasi did drag one wide from 14 yards out, and as we get near the end of the half, Portland was definitely pushing for the opener, but unfortunately they weren't able to find that, and we had to halftime with a 0-0 score in this Cascadia Derby. Now, in the second half, as I said, crazy thing happened in the second half of this game, and this is where the chaos really began. But at first, we had Ruidíaz had a big opportunity to basically give the Sounders a 1-0 lead, and again, this is something we usually do not see Ruidíaz does a lot, where he basically fluffed his lines from 7 yards out, and that again, if he would have put that chances away, and maybe even put the chances that he had early in this game, he would have been at a brace up to that point, and even add to the penalty that he converted later in this game, he would have got a hat trick in this one against the Portland Timbers. And speaking of penalty, this is where this game really started to turn chaotic, and really this is where the moments where it kind of tells the story of how this Cascadia Derby went. So in the 57th minute, there was a penalty given to the Portland Timbers after Shane O'Neill basically tripped Abovasi in the box. In fact, Shane O'Neill basically did a double whammy there. First, he basically gave the ball away in a poor position, and then when he's trying to make up for that bad giveaway, he carelessly tripped Abovasi in the box, which gives a penalty for the Portland Timbers, and that means that Valeri basically was going to step up to try to give the Sounders a 1-0 lead, but Stefan Fry is able to deny him there, and I didn't think that was a great penalty from Valeri, the fact that he kind of hit that one straight down the middle. But the Timbers did get a lifeline, because apparently when they go to VAR to see whether or not if Stefan Fry actually came off his lines, yeah, he definitely came off his lines. And in fact, there was actually 2 encroachment that the Sounders made in that. First, it was Fry basically coming off his lines as he was making that save, and then Nuhu was actually about 3 yards into the box before Valeri actually take the penalty. So basically, if you are a VAR referee, you're basically just kind of take your choices of which one you're going to call in terms of being encroachment for the Seattle Sounders. And believe they probably called the encroachment on Stephen Fry. But either way, the Timbers had another shot of trying to get the 1-0 lead, and on the second attempt, Valeri missed it, and this time he hit the post on this retake and actually rebound right toward him where he was able to put it into the back of the net. But anytime when you decide to hit the post hit the post from the spot, you cannot be the first one to basically touch the ball and basically puts it into the back of the net, because that was an indirect free kick kind of play. And yeah, I mean, this is very rare that, it was already very rare to see Diego Valeri miss a penalty, but it's even more rare we see him miss 2 penalty in a row, and even more rare that we see a situation where a team had 2 cracks of potentially putting the ball into the back of the net from the penalty spot, and they missed both of those opportunities. And this would not only come back to haunt the Timbers later on in this game, but just 3 minutes later, on the other end, a penalty was awarded to the Seattle Sounders after Antonella looked to like he brought down Ruidíaz. Now, when I look on this play, and again, this was very similar to the one that I mentioned earlier with the Guzan play where he brought down Ulloa, but the only difference is it's pretty clear that Antonella did not get the ball when he bring down Ruidíaz. Now, what is very questionable about this call is the fact that did Ruidíaz kind of embellish that a little bit, and did Antonella make any contact of Ruidíaz? Because we usually see in this instant, when you see strikers try to of course draw a penalty and trying to kind of embellish a little bit when he trying to take on the goalkeeper that trying to go down to get the ball. Usually strikers trying to kind of embellish a little bit and trying to kind of go down on the ground too easily to draw the penalty. And it seems like this might be a situation, where Antonella was scrambled to try to get to the ball, but he couldn't quite get it. And Ruidíaz saw that opportunity where, I'm just going to draw this penalty by going to the ground very easily. And it just feels like that, of course, was the case, and that maybe there actually wasn't any contact that Antonella made on Ruidíaz. But either way, I guess in some way you could also say it's a penalty, because I've seen that been given before. And again, even if you, of course, did not make contact to the attacker, if you do not get the ball first, you're definitely going to be asking to potentially concede a penalty there, and that, of course, was the case from Jeff Antonella. And unlike where the Timbers had 2 cracks of trying to convert from the spot, the Sounders didn't even need to do so, and they waste no opportunity to convert on the penalty spot. And it's Ruidíaz, the one that, of course, won the penalty. He would convert the spot to give the Sounders a 1-0 lead. And to make matters worse for the Timbers, Antonella had to be stretchered off of what looks like he might have dislocated his hips. And Hunter Suta, who of course was the starter in the last game against FC Dallas, or in the last game that the Timbers faced against FC Dallas, he was summoned in this game. There was some pushing and shoving that was going on in the 70th minute between both of these teams, because both of these teams are reminding you that this is the Cascadia Derby and things can definitely get a little bit heated. But in the 79th minute, the Sounders basically call it a game as Freddie Montero scores from João Paulo. What a great delivery this was from Paulo from the box, and Montero basically was able to be at the highest in his jump and basically converts that header and puts it into the back of net. And yeah, the Sounders were up 2-0 in that game. And again, I think at that point it was game, set, and match for the Timbers, because I didn't think that the Sounders was going to give up two late goals late in this game. Ruidíaz did have a chance to make it 3-0. In fact, he thought that he actually made it 3-0 when he put the ball into the back of net, but unfortunately the goal was disallowed. And I like how he was in such a disbelief that his goal was disallowed for offside. He immediately even went to the linesman and kind of trying to make his case, but in the end, obviously the linesman just kind of laughed at him and said, yeah, you were in an offside position. And when you look on the replay, yeah, it was pretty clear that he was in an offside position. I mean, it was kind of close, but at the same time, you can clearly see his left arm was in an outstretch, or his left arm was in an offside position. But even without his arm being in that position, you can kind of see that part of his body was in an offside position, and they're, you know, if they even did go to VAR to see that, I just don't see how they're gonna overturn that call. But in the 4th minute of stoppage time, Tuiluma did score a wonderful free kick for the Timbers to maybe give them some hope for the last 2 minutes of this game. But again, I didn't think the Sounders were going to blow a 2-0 lead, and I thought that goal probably was just a consolation goal that the Timbers was going to get in this game. And yeah, in the end, the Sounders were able to win 2-1 in this one. And the shots in this one, and I think this is the second time we have seen this happen, where not only the shots were exactly the same, but it goes the same with the shots on goal, shots off target, and block total, as both teams have 11 shots apiece. Both teams had 4 shots on goal apiece, 5 shots off target apiece for both teams, and both teams also had 2 shots that was blocked. And the only difference in terms of the stat chart is that the Timbers slightly had a bit of an advantage in terms of the possession, 55% possession compared to 45% possession that the Sounders had in this game. But again, going back to what I said, this chaotic moment that this game had in the 57th minute, where the Timbers unable to take advantage from the spot twice, and that the Sounders were able to take advantage on the other end. That was really the story of this game. And as soon as I kind of saw this happen, I kind of had a feeling that, yeah, the Sounders are probably going to win this, and that those are kind of a moment that is not only like a snake bit kind of moment for the Timbers, but those are kind of like game-changing moment, especially literally 3 minutes after they had a big opportunity to get the opening goal twice from the penalty spot, and then they go on the other end to concede a goal. Not a lot of team is able to recover that kind of a devastating blow in terms of potentially come back from this game. But yeah, there you have it. That is pretty much it for the review of both of these games. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of both of these games. We also still have one more game left tonight, but unfortunately, since I am going to be doing a little ground hop tonight, I probably will unable to watch the Sporting KC versus Austin FC match, but I will actually DVR that match and probably just watch that game right after when I come back from doing some ground hop, and I'll probably do the review of that video very late tonight, or maybe even tomorrow, where I'm also going to have to do the preview in terms of the midweek games, because this is going to be the first time this season where this Tuesday and Wednesday, and also on Thursday, there are going to be some midweek games that's going to be happening in the MLS season. But until then, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.